the Mazurek family ranch in Utopia, Texas, just north of San Antonio in the beautiful hill country, to visit Barbara Mazurek and watch her as she takes care of the goats that she raises here. How have you been?
I'm good, and you?
Good, good to see you. She's so cute. Woody!
You're in the very western end of Bandera County. The ranch is 2,100 acres. Inherited, been in the family since the late 1800s. I'll be 80 in August. So I'm 79. 79 and hanging.
You're doing good.
Gray-headed. Come on, Woody! My dad had 3 daughters, and he just knew he was going to have a son. And he was a rancher in and out. And so when I was about 6 or 7, I remember my dad overhearing telling my mother, you can take the 2 other girls and you can teach them to sew, cook, or do whatever in the house. But I'm going to take Barbara, and she's going to learn how to run this ranch. The reason we give them this corn, which is not a lot, you can't see we really fed them. It's just kind of bait. Goats are like kids. They love that corn, and they'll come in like, oh, where's my candy? And here they come. But this kind of helps gather them, and they're not spread everywhere, because if you leave them out at night and the little ones get caught by the feral hogs or coyotes or whatever, because dogs can only do so much. All right, we're going from here to the pens.
Okay.
Come on, Bitsy. Come on. Come on. Is anybody hung up out there? Yeah, I've got one hung up. Okay. Come on, let's go. Let's get in. Come on.
Barbara single-handedly runs the family ranch. She has some help on the weekends with fencing and other tasks. Her kids help out when needed, like on shearing days. Goats are her passion. She raises Boer goats for meat and Angora for mohair, and knows how to keep tabs on the herd.
And the ear tag, see the ear tag in each ear?
Yeah.
That tag on them so that I'll know that kid belongs, and most of them are going to have twins, maybe triplets.
Do you ear tag them at that time too?
No, probably a day or 2 later.
Okay.
Yeah. I can only do so much, especially if I have 2 or 3 having kids at the same time. You know, but so I tag them so I'll know who's who, what's what. There's Susie. And of course, it's always, you know, they have a big deal about naming them. To me, it's just a name's got to fit. And probably sometimes my names don't always fit. All right, Billy Bob, come on. Here, here.
She gave her a little tail wag at that. Good job.
When they wag the tail, you know they're getting milk. They don't wag that tail if they're not getting milk.
Really?
Right. These cats' mother died when their eyes were just barely open, and they grew up under a goat, and they think they've got to have milk, and that keeps them up here, and I don't have mice in the barns anymore. And I used to have a lot of mice up here. Okay, come on, girls, get on. Yeah.
Barbara's life in Utopia took a dramatic turn. She was working in town, coaching kids in various sports at the local high school. She and her husband, Hubert, were raising their 3 children together on the family ranch when the unthinkable happened.
It was on a Thursday. I got out of the school. My son, Reagan, had called looking for me. My husband was grinding, mixing feed that day for hogs. We raised hogs on the sideline. And he was putting the feed in the feeders, the self-feeders, and that was with an auger. About 5 or 6 days before that, the cover, the shield to the flywheel on that grinder mixer had come off, and we had ordered another one. It came in the day of the funeral. And I picked up the phone, and Reagan said, "Mother, come home." I said, "What's wrong?" He says, "Daddy, Hubert was grinding and mixing feed and putting it out, and on his way back to the tractor, he was holding on to the side, and we know he was probably having a problem, a medical problem, And he slept and he fell into the flywheel. And he was caught in that flywheel with his hands over him and his feet in the end. And he was still in it when I got home. So I went up there and he said, and Reagan was up there, he said, Mother, don't go, don't go, don't look. I said, yes, if your dad can go through it, I can too. There were 5 men that came and they eventually got him out. And that was, and Ruth Lynn, my daughter, was in, and she was a daddy's girl, was in Galveston at medical school. And I knew better than to call her because she'd just go nuts and go running out the door and start driving home and probably kill herself. So the boy said, we'll finish chores, because after everybody cleared out and everybody, because his older brother was here and his first cousin. When everybody left, I made coffee, made sandwiches, and we got in the truck and we drove to Galveston that night and got there about 2 o'clock that morning. And when we opened the door, she looked behind me and she said, where's Daddy? And we told her. I go by that place every day where he died. And that's, you know, it took a while, you know. And I had to fill those feeders myself the next week. And starting that tractor and filling those feeders was probably one of the hardest things I ever did. You know, I just didn't know if I had the guts to do it. You know, but I thought, I have to do it, because I couldn't just get rid of the pigs because they weren't old enough. You know, you had to feed them out. So we did. And we made it, you know. My kids were tough too, you know. It wasn't easy on them.
It's been over 25 years since the farming accident that claimed her husband's life. Most days she spends tending to the ranch alone, a task she has come to enjoy.
Ha, 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 ha.
Now what?
I'm going to feed that those trawls right there before we go any further.
Can I help you? Do you need?
But yes, it's sometimes you get lonesome. You know, sometimes you miss people.
What kind of rooster is that?
Partly game rooster. And that's his lady friend, black hen. I think that's what I call him old handout, because he's always looking for something to eat. But then on the other hand, if you find something to stay busy, you can always stay busy. Just being alive and being able to work, and I thank God, and I say this humbly, each day that I'm still able to work. I don't work hard, I can't work fast. Okay, we're ready to go, but I work. I had a kid in an ag class one time that came in, they asked me to come and talk to them, and this kid said, what do you think your greatest achievement has been? And I thought, how do I answer that this kid will? I said, son, I'm a survivor. I said, I survived making decisions. I didn't know if I could, but I did, and I have survived. So I said, that's my greatest achievement. I haven't done anything great or glorious, I've just survived.
Who else loved that story about Barbara as much as I did? Gosh, like, I hope I have a shred of her strength in me, right? What a strong woman, what an amazing FarmHer, and someone I'm so proud to tell her story. So, if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe and check back next week for the story about Carol Ann in Austin, Texas.